going to show an example of hooking up the MCP servers to web-based Claude. So here we are in web-based Claude, and because we have the Pro account hooked up, you can add in these connectors or the MCP servers. So in the user interface, they call them connectors. So you come over here, and it says Search and Tools, and you select that. And you come down to Manage Connectors, and some of them are listed here already. But you say Manage Connectors. And then that goes and finds everything that's hooked up right now. Right now I have the MCP server for Google Drive, for GitHub, and also Canva. Canva's, this is the one that we might use for generating our web apps from the designs that we make in Canva. And then there's two other ones that are disconnected right now. And so ours are custom connectors. So you click Add Custom Connectors. And then you go over to this document, which I'm going to email to you, that has our URLs. And this document has actually a lot of information about the project. In particular, it has all the URLs for everything that we use, right? All the different websites. Here's our web pages down here. Here's our MCP server URLs. Then there's a list of the companies down here. Here's the financial metrics and also the financial numbers that we want to pull. And here's a list of all our companies and their ticker symbols. Their CIKs, which is kind of like a ticker symbol. The CIKs are numbers that are used by the SEC to identify different companies. So every company that's American has a CIK that identifies it. And then over here, there's the segment for the company. And then if they're in the specialty segment, they also have what's called a subsegment as well. So, okay, so this is just a lot of this document is just a lot of general information about the project. So grab this URL right here, and let's go back over to here and paste it in. And it usually ends with SSE for this URL, and this is the Dolt database one. So this is going to give the LLM access to our database at Dolt Hub. So we say add. And sometimes this takes a minute for it to find all the MCPs. Okay, so it found this one, so now we can configure it. It's not quite ready to use, but we look at all of the methods or the tools that it's found. It's got something called read query, write query, list tables, describe table, list views, describe views. These are all things that we can use with our database. So the tables are the main things, and then the views. A view is kind of like a saved query or report that you want to pull on your database. If you have a particular arrangement for the data that you like to use, you can save it as what's called a view. It's really just a saved SQL query, and you can save those in your database for using them anytime. So here right now it's saying ask permission, but we want to just allow it all the time. Otherwise, each time we want to try one of these things, it's going to ask us to do it. So we just say allow. And that should be it. So now we can use this MCP. So the way you do that is you just refer to the tool. You say, can you describe all the Dolt database MCP tools you have? And so it'll know where they are, what they are. Right, so it has these. And it's kind of describing what each of these do. And so let's actually use one of these so that you can see how that looks. So can you list the tables in the Dolt database? And you have to give it the name of the database. So the name of our database is my username, Calvin W, and then slash, and then business management benchmarks, and then the branch of the database. This database has branches, and the branch of the database is main. Okay, so that's our main database with all the companies and the financials and the metrics and that kind of stuff in it. So let's see what it says. So it goes off to list the tables, and this is a tool being executed here. And so the tool that it's executing is calling a function called list tables. And it gets back these guys right here. Underneath this one, what this function does is it queries the database and gets the tables in the database. So there's company info, there's financial metrics, there's financials. The financials are what we pull from the various sources, and then the metrics are the calculated ones. They're like net profit margin percentage, the SG&A percentage, all of those calculated, and the quick ratio, and the debt to equity ratio, and that kind of thing. So the ones that are calculations we put into financial metrics, and our regular ones are financials. So there's also some aggregated metrics as well too. Like for our segments, we calculate a segment metric, set of segment metrics, and for each of those subsegments we do the same. And this is basically taking the financial metrics from each of the companies in that segment and aggregating them together. So let's just have it kind of pull some information for one company. So can you get the financials for Costco that are available? And so there should be like 6 years for that. So first it's got to go to the database and figure out where this data is. So it does a little work on its own to investigate the different tables. And so it's calling to get information about the tables. And here it's giving the highlights really for the, okay, so weird. I want it to show all the data in like a table. So can you show the actual data in a table and not summarize it? Okay. There it goes. That's better. Okay. So at least now this is what I was really intending. And so it's just getting the data directly out of the financials table, and not even any of the calculated fields really. But okay. So that gives you an idea of how that MCP server works. And the other ones are pretty similar, so let's do those kind of quickly as well. So if you come back here and go to select and go to manage connectors again, we have some other MCPs that have to do with pulling data for any companies from the SEC database or from Yahoo Finance. So let's do the Yahoo Finance one, and then the other one is sort of similar. So you say add custom connector, you get the URL for that, and you say, what is this one? This one's the Yahoo Finance. So you say Yahoo Finance MCP, and you say add. And it comes up here, and you got to configure it. And when you go to configure it, it says, there's one tool, process financial data, and it's got to be past the ticker symbol, which the LLM usually knows on its own. It can find the ticker symbol on its own usually, if you just tell it the company name. Okay, so I think we're set to try this one too. So let's say plus. Get a new chat. So can you find the last, you're only going to get the last 4 years from Yahoo. So the last 4 years of data for Nike. Okay, and that's one that's actually in our database, but it doesn't matter. It could pull it from Yahoo no matter what. Yeah, so it went and found the ticker symbol on its own. And here it is. Nice. It's not giving all of them. I think it's just giving the highlights. I don't know why. Did I specify just those fields? I'm not sure in the MCP what we specified, but so yeah, okay.